the game, the way he always wants to win the game. You know, when you see other coaches tactically will go maybe into a defensive formation or wait, no matter what, he wants to win football with attacking football. And there was that game when he went to a 5 at the back at Arsenal, wasn't there? Yes, at Emirates.
5-4-1, yeah.
And it was
defensive.
Strange to see him do that because normally he would always be on the front foot. But in terms of big moments, he's one of the best to ever do it, without doubt.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, and a coach of his stature, he's not stuck to one, one formation. If he feels he has to come to Arsenal and he's Man City and he play 5-4-1, he'll play 5-4-1. But you can see him at the sideline here. It means the world to him. His team playing well and playing to a certain standard. It's really good to see. It's really good to see. He won't let them rest on anything.
Because you can kind of look at the different levels of why he's pleased about today, whether it be simply winning a trophy, which is what they're all in it for, whether it be the new players that he's talked about, whether it be, his relationship with Mikel Arteta, and then the league title race as well.
He played it down when he was asked a question about the league title.
Yeah. Now,
don't get me wrong, of course you'd rather be in Arsenal's dressing room. You've got a 9-point buffer, but that can quickly change. And I feel if Arsenal would have won today, I just think that would have put Manchester City to bed. Now, it's just asked the question, the pressure will just ramp up just that extra little bit. There was a bit of a break now, obviously, with the internationals, and it gives Arsenal a lot of thinking time that they are the favourites, and rightly so, and I still think they will win it. But it just changes the dynamic. For a team that hasn't got across the line, now you've really asked the question, OK, we're coming after you. And I think with a team like Manchester City, that's probably the last side you want.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that probably goes against them, Ian, is that they've drawn 2 games against West Ham and against Nottingham Forest at the wrong time. But now this has given them that little bit of confidence again.
The thing is people are saying the 9 points, and I think this is not a bad thing for Arsenal to reset themselves and refocus, because they have to. It's not going to be easy, because there's no way that Man City players are going down into that tunnel. This is 9 points, but then they've got a game in hand and they've got to play them. It can go down to 3, and then all of a sudden the pressure really turns up. So this Man City side, make no mistake, him saying he wants to be 9 points. This 9 points is a tight 9 points, and this is what I feel from Arsenal's point of view have to do. They have to really refocus and just get themselves back on track in what they want to do. They need to win games now. People talk about how they win in the games, the set pieces. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows it doesn't matter. We've got a DNA of winning games with resilience. They've got to kick into that, because I think this team, they know it's not over. It's not over. If we're going to be totally honest about what's going on, it's not over.
What happened with Arsenal today, though, right? From your point of view?
That, like I said, Meeks, I saw that when City were pressing them really high, it seems like City were pressing them really high because I think for a start, Saka's not going to be blasting. I don't think Gyökeres is going to be blasting with the kind of pace that's going to cause them problems. And I don't think Trossard is going to either. I think when you look at how poorly our midfield was in respect of Zubimendi's retention of the ball and how he kept it, it wasn't good today. So even if we were going to try and play out, we didn't have the players who were playing well enough for it. And then all of a sudden, it just kept the ball. We got the ball up top to the guys, Kai Havertz and Gyökeres. It came straight back. And so after the 15 minutes, after that chance, hopefully that chance went in, maybe they would have played differently. But once that chance went in, all of a sudden, City just got more and more confident, just more and more playing, and then more and more expand, and then they just started playing how they play.
Do you give City credit for how they neutralised Arsenal, all of you, in that they particularly in the second half, they couldn't play it short because they pressed high, and yet they couldn't go long because they couldn't keep it up there because City defended as well as they did.
If you looked at the stats today, it felt like Kepa had more touches of the ball. One thing, they lost Odegaard and no Eze today, and that's a huge blow because you need somebody, I always think as a midfield, that's where you can win the game, especially if you get hold of it. Cherky started to influence the game second half. You didn't really see Kai Havertz. But the one thing I will say is, even when they went direct, against Ake and Kusanov, they were brilliant. Because that physicality that Arsenal, we would think they might be the dominant factor, never transpired. They dealt with them so well. I never saw Havertz or Gyökeres win a header or a second ball. So you were never really able to get hold of that game in that area, Ian.
So that's why it felt a little bit like things are going to have to change, because for me, I said it once we start sitting down there after the 15, 20 minutes, I said this game it needs Martinelli. Because what we needed an out, get everybody up, excuse me, and then try and press them up there, maybe win the ball back, and then see if we could attack them further up the pitch. But we couldn't get out. We couldn't get out because as soon as we got out, Gyökeres would lose it or Kai Havertz would lose it.
They'd go with a free, and they just didn't let them out. But then the defenders had to be brave and go all the way up. That's why you've seen so many tussles in the first half a little bit. And then they saw in the second half, they built on that momentum, and Arsenal was making so many individual errors. And I think in modern day football now, everyone is so on trying to play out from the back. Sometimes you just need to kick the ball long, squeeze up, and then get a breather, and then see if Arsenal can do that to Man City. But they just couldn't get anywhere.
Jay, do you think that with Kepa, obviously, mate, we could talk about a goal. Do you think with Kepa, because I haven't seen City do that before, the 4-up like that. Do you think they wanted to keep the pressure on Kepa in playing out like he did? Because it was very shaky. It wasn't solid, was it?
Absolutely. He never looked comfortable with the ball at his feet, because also the way that Arsenal are so used to playing with Raya, who's unbelievable, probably one of the best sweeper keepers I've ever seen, because he makes great angles for the centre-backs as soon as they've got the ball. It's totally different when you've got a different keeper in there. Yeah. And I think that, of course, he makes a mistake, but I just also think when you've got a goalkeeper that's not used to playing with your back four, don't complicate it.
Yes.
You know, and Mike, I want to bring you back to something you said off camera, which was a great point. You said
what?
Very early in the second half, he said he's got to take off Nkapia. He's got to make the change. He waited, and all of a sudden, 1-0, he was going to make it. They're all ready to come on, and they go 2-0 down. Then the game's pretty much gone. You're not going to get back in it from there. But they should have made that. I think he should have made that substitution early, because he'd been booked.
I think you're right. I think we all played football, even at your level, chappers. Momentum's a big thing in football.
Exactly.
And when Semenyo went up against Nkapia early in the second half, I would said he needs to get him off. Because on the goal, like you said, he wasn't getting tight because he can't trust him. You know, Nkapia, he's been brilliant for Arsenal, but he's been brilliant because he's been aggressive. And he couldn't be aggressive because he was on a yellow card. That's when I think the mistake was made. He should have changed it after he seen Semenyo was getting the better of him earlier on in that half.
Just on aggressive defending, can I just do one more on Manchester City? And then after the break, we're going to hear from Mikel Arteta. We can do more of Arsenal. Kusanov.
Outstanding.
And I think if you don't watch City week in, week out, you will still go back to the debut. He had a horrific debut, didn't he, for City against Chelsea? And yet, you talk to City fans, and they are telling us that he is one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment, with how he is performing. As I say, I mean, he flattened Gyökeres and got a yellow card in the first half, but he does
have so many men forward at a time in the game where if your positioning is not right, you will get exposed, and that's why I missed Kyle Walker. Núñez went into right back, but Kusanov, because of his pace now, you see him, he's starting to read the game. He played unbelievable against Real Madrid. It's one of the best performances I've seen from a young centre-half. And then you build that confidence, you know what you're doing, and then you trust him. And when your teammates trust you, it just gives you that little bit of confidence. And that is the
Go on, James.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think it felt like a big moment for him was in the Carabao Cup early in the season. We were at a game at Newcastle away when he started with Max Lane. And I said before the game, I was definitely wrong, that's an area where Newcastle can really exploit.
He wasn't wrong because of the inexperienced.
He was fantastic. And he's just been given time, because a lot of players, that debut was... It was horrendous in terms of, you know, you almost, as a player, you felt so sorry for him.
You did,
His head was in a tumble dry. You know, I know he just signed. He probably shouldn't have been exposed to that. Yeah. But unbelievable how he's come back. And he's got one valuable, well, he's got a lot of valuable commodities, but the one that he's got in abundance is pace. He is so quick.
It always helps.
You know, the thing what I would say with him, this is why I'm saying, you look at someone like Kusanov, you've got to watch him and how he plays. He's one of them defenders, Micah, James, he wants to win the ball in front. He wants to win it because you've got to start making the kind of movement to make him think, I'm going to go there, then I'm going to go here. You've got to start making him think, because what he wants to do, he wants to nick it in front. He wants to come and hit it in front. They need to start making a movement for me, Gyökeres, where he's going to go there, but he's going to go long, so he's got to give Kusanov some form of problem. And it didn't happen today.
And I'll tell you what he did fantastically well, because we spoke about with getting booked, Nkapia. He got booked early in the game. But he still managed it well. He never got himself in a position. He knew when to get tight and be aggressive, and he knew when to step off. But that was the difference. In Nkapia, like you say, he just didn't know what to do. And that is also credit to Semenyo and Cherki down that right-hand side.
we will turn our attentions back to...
Obviously, a big disappointment. How raw does it feel right now?
Yeah, it's painful when you get to a final and you have that will to win the first trophy of the season after 8 months working on it is always tough. The game had moments in the first half. I think we were very good. We had the best chance of the game so far to put it 1-0, and then the game would have been different. In the second half, we started not so great, and the first 15-20 minutes we have problems sitting too deep and then giving the ball away straight away too many occasions. But the reality is that they had 2 shots and they scored 2 goals, and that's the level as well.
What's your overall feeling about how your team have played, though? Do you have that sort of nagging sense that on the big day you didn't quite deliver your best level?
Perhaps I think the first half one that is very positive. And
what happened in that phase of the game? You seem to suddenly start to find it so difficult to get out.
To get out
from the keeper to... You were obviously trying to bait the press, and it felt so difficult for you to get up the pitch.
We were imprecise on time. We had the opportunities to break them through. We give the ball away. When we regained the ball, we gave it straight back, and then they had momentum in deep, which they're going to do at times because, as I said, they are really good on that. And then, without really creating nothing, they scored the first goal out of nothing, and 3 minutes later, the second one.
A genuine question. Is there anything more you can do in those moments? There's a couple of phases where Kepa holds onto the ball with it at his feet for like 40 seconds. Is he doing the right thing there to try and bait the press, or is there another way around that?
We talk about a lot of things, and it's not the moment to talk about that.
And obviously, for the manager, always, if you win, you're a genius. If you lose, you're the guy who has to answer the questions.
Which I am.
Which you are, absolutely. But any regrets about the choice of goalkeeper? That will be the headline from that, I guess.
I will do it again because he deserves to play this game, and he's been phenomenal for us, and that's it. Errors are part of football, and anybody can make them.
Do you think the weight of necessity, expectation, they're used to winning, you're trying to obviously make a breakthrough, does that play any part today?
I don't think, because if not, I think we would have seen it in the first half, and that didn't happen.
Yeah. Last question then. How important to stay calm in this moment? You've still got potentially a huge, magical season ahead of you. And I remember after Wolves, and I remember after Man United, you stayed calm, you kept the team sort of on message. Is it another important moment for calm heads?
We had eight incredible months together. Today is a disappointment. Football is part of that, and then we have to work and improve and use that fire that we have in the belly right now to have 2 amazing months at the end of the season.
Thank you, Mikel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
I mean, it's so surprising, is it, that he's going to say he's got no regrets over his selection. He's not going to come out and go, actually, with hindsight, maybe.
It's important, but especially it was special because we had a tough 2 weeks, and especially against opponent. So it's the strongest one. What I've done in the Champions League is so difficult, and the way, especially the second half. In the first as well, the first 15 minutes, they suffocate us. We could not breathe. And after that, when we won some second balls and we start, to play, and especially Jeremy in the second half and Ryan. So I'm really pleased because I know against the opponent we face, Mikel create a team like is almost unbeatable, and especially the way we that make us happy. And of course, bring the 5th Carabao Cup in 10 years is not bad.
You are the manager who's won it the most, 5 times. Of course, each one has a different story, but what is special about this one?
Every time you win a title, it looks like more difficult than it was in the past. Now, win a title is really, really complicated for many reasons, for the amount of games, for the amount of consistency you have, for the quality of the opponents, and that's why it's over time. I said, last time we won one title, I don't remember which one, I said, maybe it's so difficult. It doesn't matter which one, and especially the guys, the team behave unbelievable.
What is hardest, Pep? Is it to win so many titles in a row with pretty much the same team and just keep winning, or is it to rebuild little by little and go back to winning?
Yeah, when you start to win and still the generation is young and still they are there, you can continue that. But we bring a lot of players that are still, because it's not about what we have to do. I need to know them. So I need to know how they behave in certain moments in that way, the connection displaying this player. And today in the modern football, and you lose games, you are no chance because everyone is so competitive and difficult. And I think will be a good learning for the future, the team. and hopefully next season we can do better.
With Nico O'Reilly, how happy are you to see him score twice, because you saw different things on him, you moved him around the pitch? How satisfying is it for you personally?
Maybe I have been the sign of the season, right? So when I started the season and we have a long conversation with him, he didn't know he want to play, and yeah, for different circumstances, for injury at the beginning, he started to play in the left back and impress a lot. His physicality in the set pieces, in the game, can play. He played in I remember, Newcastle, a holding midfielder alongside Nico Gonzalez. It was unbelievable. So he can play in many, many roles. He's a guy in the final third in the position like he likes. He's an attacking midfielder, going in the box. He's really good in the aerial situations.
You want them to be in so many aspects. How much of a step was it today for them to be even closer to the team that you want?
We help, but still we are not the team like, for example, Arsenal are, or like we were in the past. Like always we found a way, you know, to win titles. And this team is still, but what I said was said before, I'm not suspicious now to say it after win the Carabao Cup. It was underneath, we were close, but you have to refine, you have to insist and rework, and because the teams, you don't understand why you are there, and nothing, you are on the bottom. So warnings always has to be on, and of course, but for the club, for a lot of new generation start to do that is very important.
And finally, how do you expect this trophy to reflect on the title, the Premier League title race?
I would love to have 9 points in front, to be honest. I would like, so it's in their hands, so they do it a lot. I don't know, now I need personally an incredible break. I'm exhausted, devastated, and after we see step by step, but of course they have, I think, Nottingham and West Ham, the drop points there that punish us a lot, but yeah, we try one game a hand. They come in at the Stadium with our people. And continue quarterfinals against Liverpool at home. That I think that will help us for that tournament, especially. Hopefully the people can come, our fans. That today was amazing. Last season, for example, maybe were not full, and today they come all Manchester here, and I'm so happy for them, because last 2 seasons I struggled a little bit, but for happy, and people will try.
Well done, Pep. Enjoy.
Thank you, Rita.
Talk about the race for the league title in just a moment, but he is now out there on his own as a manager when it comes to League Cup titles. He has now won 5, and the other thing as well, Micah, in Cup finals in general, he has won 18 out of 22.
He's a master, isn't he?
Which is, I mean, that is a phenomenal record, isn't it?
And that's why he's so incredible in what he does, the way he plays football, the way he approaches.
Antoine Semenyo has joined us. Micah Richards is with us sometimes as he keeps hugging and having selfies with various City players that go past. Congratulations, winners medal, which is what you joined for.
Yeah, 100%. First of many. I'm excited, I'm happy, and many more to come.
What were you feeling like before this final, you personally?
Very chilled.
Very
chilled and relaxed. It's just another game for me.
Was that because of the players in the dressing room? Did they make you feel very chilled and relaxed?
Yeah,
Is that
it's just like we had a game plan, and if we got a game plan right, we would win, and we done that today, so we're all proud and happy.
What about your position? You've played up front, you played on the wing.
Yeah.
On the wing, you was devastating. You prefer that position?
Yeah, I think I just have that freedom to do what I want, get at defenders and cause problems, and that's what I done today. Had Nkapie running around a little bit, but
you had on his hind legs, bro.
Well, listen, it's just what I do. It's my job, and yeah, just gives me that freedom.
Did you feel as the game wore on that you could get real success down that right-hand side, because that's really where the goals come from, because Nkapie had been booked?
Yeah, as soon as he got booked, he was backing off a lot, so it gave me the opportunity to drive at him, get in the box, cause problems, cross, shoot, whatever it was, so yeah.
When you signed from Bournemouth, I obviously watched you so much there. Can you believe how well things have gone? Because you was flying for Bournemouth, and then you never quite know how it's going to go. But you've just got to Man City, and it feels like you're taking your game to another level, if that was possible.
It feels like a fairy tale, if I'm honest, but I feel like I've got a lot more to show. I feel like I want to be playing out wide, I want to play as a 9, I want to show how versatile I am, and yeah, just help the team as much as we can. So yeah, I'm enjoying my football, and it can only get better.
Never, with all due respect, never mind the signing for Bournemouth. Go the 15-year-old you who had fallen out of love a little bit with football, and now you're here playing for Manchester City with a winners' medal around you. What would you say to the 15-year-old you now?
God's got a plan. Listen, it might not work out, and you might not know why, but the answer always reveals itself later on. So that's what I would say.
Is this an easy dressing room to join and be part of, given you are joining a group of winners, or can it be intimidating in any way?
A little bit of both. It's like they've won so many trophies, so this feels like it's just another one for them. But for